With only 2 ambulances in operation on Tortola, there has been growing concerns that medical staff are struggling to reach emergencies quickly enough. Now the government says it will refurbish 4 old ambulances to help improve response times to emergency calls. JTV News' Walter Barrett has more on this story.
Healthcare in the territory has been a discussion for a long time among many people, particularly the issue of response time of medical officials to the scenes of emergencies. However, upon hearing that there are only 2 ambulances servicing the Tortola area, it is clearer to understand why. On Saturday night, James Tudman of James Tudman Construction donated $25,000 to government for the purchase of a new ambulance. It is now hoped that this, along with other measures that are currently being taken, would help to make the situation a lot better. According to one health official who spoke with JTV News at the Peebles Hospital, the island's only 2 operational ambulances are stationed at Peebles and are dispatched from there whenever emergency calls arise. In the event of calls from areas outside of Rotown, such as East End, the ambulance crew would tend to the call, but in some instances, the Fire and Rescue Department attends to such calls. Ambulances have, however, made such response trips and returned with the patient to the hospital. The problem is that in such instances, based on the extent of the emergency, precious life-saving time is lost. Here at the Comar parking lot, there are actually 4 ambulances that haven't been operational for several years. Now, according to Pat Malone-Smith, who is the Director for Hospital Services at Peebles Hospital, the initial idea was that these ambulances would be sold as they have parts that are no longer available or parts that are too hard to get. However, according to Minister for Health and Social Development, Honorable Ronnie Skelton, it would actually be more feasible and costly to have the ambulances repaired right here than to have them sold off and purchase a new ambulance, which costs in the vicinity of some $96,000. Speaking with JTV News on Tuesday, Pat Malone-Smith explained that the newer of the 2 operational ambulances was received about 18 months ago, while the second is in its 7th year of operation. Regarding the 4 ambulances that remain out of operation at Comar's parking lot, she said that parts are needed for each of them, from engines to transmissions, some of which are not easily available. While the plan was to sell the ambulances and purchase a new one, the health minister rationalized that whereas a transmission may cost around $3,000 and an engine around $4,000 or $5,000, it would still in fact be cheaper to repair the old ambulances than it would be to purchase a new one, the cost of which is over $90,000. Malone-Smith said that mechanics are currently inspecting the ambulances to see what they are in need of and how many of them can be restored. In addition to the plans for the derelict ambulances, the drive to improve on the ambulance fleet got a boost on Saturday evening with a $25,000 donation made to the Premier by James Tudman during the 25th anniversary celebrations of James Tudman Construction Company for the purchase of a new ambulance. JTV News tried to get in contact with the health minister to find out how and when government would move toward acquiring the vehicle, but were informed that he was in fact off island on official business. But with the donation earmarked specifically for a new ambulance, the only question is how soon government would be able to put forward the remainder of the financing and secure the vehicle. On Friday, Deputy Secretary in the Ministry for Health and Social Development, Carolyn Stout-Igwe, told JTV News that each year the Ministry of Health gives an annual subvention of $17 million to the Health Services Authority, under whose portfolio the ambulances fall. This year, the BVIHSA received $21 million, but it is not clear how much of that money, if any, would go toward the ambulances. Reporting for JTV News, this is Walter Barrett.